Hello, hello, hello. Marietta back with another video. You know, I constantly get asked all the time, how do I feel being away from my family and friends and moving to a new state? Well, I'm going to talk about this today. What it's like when you're on your own and you're moving from one state to another and you're leaving everything and everybody you know behind. And really, truly, the truth be told, I always lived sort of like a sheltered life. I've always been one to help those I could help, but more or less been a loner where I traveled a lot on my own, doing things by myself. And in doing things by myself, I learned so much about me. And because it was hard for me to trust people after I got out of my last marriage and I began to learn to rebuild my life. And I knew I had to do these things alone. So I began to move by myself. After so long of you being on your own and you begin to, taking the word for one and be wanting to do things, basically the way God wants you to do things, you begin to get stronger, you begin to learn and find your way. And then you're not afraid of being out here on your own because you know that God is with you. But in the same respect, for as having normal people with you, you adjust to that. Why? Because first of all, you want to be self-sufficient. You get tired of dealing with people that are fake, people that want to lie to you, people that don't have your best interests at heart, people that are like energy vampires that want to suck the life out of you. So you being that positive person that you want to help people and you want to, just make sure everybody's okay. So you want to find some like-minded people. So being by that wasn't the case, there were some things that I had to go through, that I had to go through a learning experience of how I was going to be able to rebuild my life after divorce and be able to make it on my own. So when I end up here, let's fast forward it to when I end up here in South Carolina, not knowing anybody, nobody knowing me, just buying a property, moving in with a disabled child in the middle of the South with a white child at that into a black neighborhood. It has really been challenging. It truly has been challenging. Most of the people that are here are older people, and a lot of them, some of them are nice, some of them are very set in their ways, some of them are very disrespectful, and you really have to navigate and realize the ones that you can talk to and who you can't talk to. Yet and still, they look at you like you're outcast the whole time you were there, and you have to really start to build a community of people that you can actually connect with. You will connect with some people later on as you be there because they're going to be watching you, and they're going to be watching, first of all, to for a woman to come to the South and to be in a black neighborhood with a white child, no husband, just by yourself. They thought there was something wrong with that. They thought that there was something wrong with a woman moving by herself, as if I wasn't mature enough to leave one state and come to the next state on my own. But yet and still, this is where God brought me. This is where He put me. I didn't come begging, borrowing. I didn't come asking for nothing. I came paying my way. I bought my land. I moved on it and I began to live my life. I don't, visit anyone. I don't go to nobody's house. I'm very careful about the people that I allow in my space. I'm very careful about the people that I allow in my home. I do not go to nobody's home. I've not been in nobody's home but one young lady's home, and she's like a daughter to me. And she has become a very close family member, you might as well say, like now, to this house. I would trust her with anything and everything. And so having that one person that I can trust means a lot. And then it's like saying, you begin to build from there. You begin to watch people. Not saying she's the only person that's been here, but she's the only person that I could trust, that I would trust with my life while I'm here. As I begin to meet other folks while I'm here, you realize a lot of people are on the take. They're wanting somebody they can use. They want to try to get close to you for whatever reason. I've seen a lot of gentlemen that come here to fix things, and first thing they say is, who lives there with you? They want to know if they can move into my home. And I am one of them old school women from the South. I mean, old school women that have moved to the South, that I believe that if a man wants you, he's supposed to have a place to put you. Or at least of all, he's supposed to be able to hold his own and be prepared to be the man of that house. But a lot of them want to move into my house because they don't have a house. And see, that's the thing. I'm not ready to relinquish my peace. And on top of that, um, to me, um, being connected to someone who does not understand what it is to work together, to build together, or not knowing what type of person it is, or relinquishing your peace to just somebody you just met. You got to take your time and slow down and get to know somebody. People tell me all the time that it takes me too long. I'm one that got to see you in all 4 seasons. I'm one that needs to know exactly who you are. But for me to just say, well, I'm going to meet somebody and move them into my home, that's not going to happen for me. That's not for me. That type of living is not for me. That type of shacking up is not for me. That type of trust is not for me. That type of giving my property, my space, my assets to somebody else and relinquishing my life and entrusting anybody and everybody around my son, that is not for me. And that's another thing. When you're I might as well say a black woman with a white child, you have to be really careful who you allow into your home, because everybody is not for you. Some people look at him strange. I've had people walk up to me and look me right in my face and say, where you get him from? As if he fell out the sky. He is my son and I love him and I will protect him. I will protect him with everything in me. If that means me staying single for the rest of my days, or until he's mature enough to be able to be on his own, then that'll just be the way it is, because I will protect him at all costs. Because I have to protect him, I have to protect myself, I have to protect my peace. And being away from family and friends in Delaware, some of my family I miss and some of them I don't. That's just simple as that. I know you got some family members that you don't connect with. You got some family members, people got family members that they no longer can relate to and you outgrow. And like I tell people, just because y'all were birthed into the same family don't make y'all a family, don't mean that y'all got to stay on top of each other forever, or does not mean that they got your best interest at heart. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes God will give you a new family, especially as you begin to grow and as you begin to move on your journey. So coming from Dover, Delaware to South Carolina was a big change for me, especially at 60 years old, because I was not a spring chicken when I left there. I just left. I only been here 4.5 going on 5 years here in South Carolina, coming from Dover, Delaware, where I was born and raised, and then coming to a whole new state where I know nobody. So it's like starting all over again. But yet and still, I have to learn how to adjust. And I am adjusting. I think I'm adjusting very well. You know, my son is getting the medical care that he needs. And the hard part about it is not having no one to keeping help to help me take care of him when I have to go out, or when I have to go take care medical needs for myself, or go grocery shopping, or just to have a minute outside this house to myself. Having someone to come in to take care of him that I would trust is the hardest part of finding that. That's what I'm working on right now. I do have the one young lady who takes care of him that I told y'all about. She takes good care of him, but for nighttime it helps me out, and in the daytime helps me out. But it's just finding somebody who to be on board 24/7 to help me take care of my son, that I really got to trust, and that he trusts being with them as well. And so leaving there, it's like saying I was already gone from Dover, Delaware, maybe about 2 years before anybody even knew I was gone. It was not like I had a lot of people that I hung with that I made a public announcement saying that I was gone, that I had left. No, I wasn't that type of party with me. It was more or less like, you know, the people that were around me, I found out who they really were when I left there. Because by the time I got ready to leave, there was nobody checking for me. Nobody inquired about me. Once you stop taking care of people, or you close your wallet on people, or you stop feeding people, people will go find somebody else to support their needs. You don't really have to get rid of people. All you got to do is say no. Once you get to knowing your vocabulary and you begin to set standards for your life, and you no longer fit into their box of you giving to them, they'll fall off by themselves. So that's what happened in my case. So then I end up in South Carolina, and I thank God for that, because I left the stress, I left the struggle, I left it all behind me. And then when I get here, it's like saying things are looking better. Even though my son is going through with his situation, he's getting better. So therefore, as he begins to not be so sick, and I get some help inside the house as they're coming, aides are coming to take care of him, I'll be able to get out a little more. And then, like I told y'all, once I get a vehicle, I'm working on getting myself a vehicle. And I am going to get a car. I don't care how bad this economy gets. I'm going to get myself a car so that I'll be able to roll around and move around and enjoy life. Because see, I'm not preparing to die. I'm not preparing for my world to end. I'm not preparing for that. I mean, I am preparing for as food and things are concerned, but I'm not going to live my life every single day working up, wondering, is this the end? Is this the end? Is this the end? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not living my life like that. And I suggest you not to live your life like that either. But when you live in one state and you decide to pack up and you realize that state is not for you, you're going to have to find your way. It's just simple as that. So you're going to have to begin to build a new life. and you will build a new life, and you'll meet new people, and you'll meet some people that actually you can connect with, some people that you can laugh with and enjoy life with. I have met some good people since I've been here in South Carolina. Maybe not many, maybe a few, a handful, and that's okay with me because I'm not one to attach myself to a lot of people anyway. I've never been one to have the house where grown people run in and out of my house and my door is a revolving door, in and out, in and out. I've never been that type of person. And like I said, as far as male companion, I'm very particular about who I connect myself with, period. Because like I said, I am not one that you can just treat any kind of way. I'm not one that's gonna lay up with you, shack up with you. I'm just not on that kind of time. That's not who I am. I was not. I just was not put together like that. I'm not wired like that. So, men, gentlemen, callers that do know me or that have try to connect with me, once they realize that I'm not a free ride and I'm not one you can move in on. I don't do the shacking up thing and all of that unnecessary stuff. It does not come with a ring. It does not come with a relationship. It does not come with building. If you're not willing to take your time and slow down, let me get to know you, then there's nothing I can do with you. There's nothing I can do for you because I need to know who you are and I need to slow down and I need to take my time and listen at the things that you say. Watch what you do more so than anything because it's not what your person says. You got to really watch what they do. And a man that I feel as though a man that really wants to date you, wants to court you, wants to prove himself to you, he would do whatever it takes to make sure that you're as comfortable as possible to be connected with them. But anything else is just not acceptable. And for me, because I've been married before, I am prepared to go to glory all by myself if need be before I put up with any unnecessary stuff or relinquish my peace to somebody who does not value me, because I know my value. So we're looking at a time now where you got to really, really be careful who you connect yourself to because there's a lot of people out there that's not looking for love. They're looking for help. And you got to know the difference. And for you ladies out there that keep moving men into your house and keep losing your peace and keep going through the struggle, keep doing things backwards, you got to find out exactly who you are. And then you'll understand how you're able to move from one state to the next and take care of yourself. Because you're going to have some stamina and some staying power to be able to stay in a place where you know for a fact. And you better pray about that move that you're about ready to make. Whether it's moving in with him or him moving in with you, or you just moving to a whole new state all by yourself. I know God was in the midst of this because like I told y'all in another video, I did not even look for a house in South Carolina. This house found me. It found me. And then when God told me to go home within 30 days, I was already in it. And I knew the reason why I had to come here was because my son needed to see different doctors because the doctors in Delaware, they did all they can for him. So he needed special treatment. So he had to come here in order to get that special treatment. He has been getting that special treatment since he's been here. So that's another big reason. It was a move for me and him both, not just for me. Not just for me. But since I've been here, it does get a little lonely sometimes because you don't know nobody. And even there, I didn't really know nobody or mess with too many people. But because I was in a familiar place, that's the biggest part. I am out of my comfort zone because I am not in a place that's familiar to me. Like in Delaware, I could ride around all day long because I knew my way around. Here, I'm still finding my way. Here, I can make one wrong turn and be lost. And then, well, not lost. I hate to use the word lost, y'all. I like to use the fact that I've never been there before, so I make the wrong turn. Now I'm in a place that I've never been before, so I got to constantly keep trying to figure out and navigate my way around the city so that I'll know how to get from one spot to the next. But we're back home. I've been there for 60 years, so I could drive around that place with my eyes closed because I knew my way around Delaware. I knew my way around Dover. Around Dover, you couldn't take me out of nowhere in Dover that I didn't know where it was because I've been there all my life. I could walk around Dover, literally barefooted, and I was okay. But to come to a place like this, especially this far out in the country, away from anybody that knows me, and I end up in a place where nobody knows me. Now people just now starting to know me, but yet I'm isolated because I got to be careful who I allow get close to me. Because yes, I am guarded. I am very guarded, and I feel though it's best for me to be that way because of the fact that I don't really know these people, and then some of them, I've had conversations with them, and their conversation and their intentions were not good. Let's just put it that way. So I am very careful. I'm very careful who I connect myself with. I'm very careful the company I keep, the conversations I hold. I mean, it's like saying I just move quietly, basically, and I try to stay in my corner. But moving from one state to the next, I would say it's very rewarding. And so you feel as though that you're in a place where you outgrew that area and it's time for you to move to another area and you want to come to the South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, come on, you want to come on down the road, come on down the road. And just take your time and fill out the area where you're going. And then don't be so quick to connect yourself with every Joe Blow that's, that runs up in your face. Sometimes you just gotta keep people out your face. And that's my spill on that, because like I said, I made a big move. The people that didn't know me back home in Dover, Delaware, they never expected me to make this big move or to come this far. It wasn't something that was planned. It just happened. And I was ready to go. And the opportunity presented itself. And here I am. I'm out of there. So now it's like saying I'm building a whole new life. And it takes a while to do that. It takes a while to do that, especially when you're traveling with a disabled child and you got that most of your life is built around his life, because his life is mainly spent most of the time at the hospital, and that's what we do. But like I said, that's what I'll do. My baby is doing well, and hey, we're just doing the best we can. So with that being said, I pray that helps. I pray that gives you some understanding about how this young lady ended up from one state to the next, and who she is and how she's doing. Y'all see, I'm doing perfectly well. I mean, the yard is big. The yard is growing. I mean, I don't know what to do out there. It's too much yard for me with all I got going on. And I would love to be able to plant a garden and things. But see, the ground here, I do know the ground here in South Carolina, this is some hard ground. It's some hard ground. So I'm not going to hurt myself out there trying to till up nothing at my age. I'm going to basically, if I decide to plant anything, it will be in some flower pots. I got a whole bunch of flower pots that I have saved in my shed. So whenever I decide to plant something and I got time to plant something that I'm not stuck at the hospital all the day, I will go ahead and plant something then. But right now, it just seems like, I can just do the best I can. And there's nobody to feed but me and my son. And so we just eat, watch TV, may take a ride from time to time, and just chill. That's it. So with that being said, and so you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that like button. Hit that like button. We're trying to go somewhere. We're trying to build a community where people can come and tell stories just like this. And you can tell your story and be able to feel free telling your story. If you have not subscribed to the channel, do so. If you're not turned your notification bells on, do so. That's all. Be blessed.